Could you draw it up any better?
Yeah, a little more efficient with the pitching, but did the job. And then Reeder coming in and just dealing. So, yeah, full bullpen, killing it. Offense, killing it. Yeah, it was pretty perfect ball game today. So, yeah.
Nice. So what was that home run seeing Pete go down and away, drive one over the right field wall? What was that like?
I didn't see it. I was down under in the tunnel, but I heard it. Crowd go crazy, and then obviously walked out, saw him around the bases. So glad he's doing it, and it's fun.
The guy gets that light back, gets hot. What can he do for a team?
I mean, you got to kind of just pitch careful when the guy's hot. So hate to be the one pitching to him right now. So keep it going, and yeah, just day by day.
Thanks.
For you, obviously to get the win, it's great. To be back at Citi Field for the opener, it's always great. What did it feel like personally for you?
Yeah, just exciting. I mean, full crowd today. Electric energy was great, and that's what makes it super fun. When all the fans show up and they're all chanting, roaring, and we're playing great as well, scoring runs, playing great defense. So, yeah, fans help out tremendously, and it's always great when they show up.
You only threw a couple curveballs in Houston. How important was that for you today?
Just different looks, I guess. I mean, it's completely different from where it was last year. A lot harder and sharper. So, I used it a few times for strikeouts today against the lefties, and then threw some good ones for strikes or righties. So I think it's just good for change of pace, change of eyes. So, yeah, I think it's pretty important. Yeah.
Tyler, you might have just answered it, but the change in shape of that pitch, to what extent does that change, like how and when you use it?
Obviously, if you're thinking north-south with a four-seam, curveball usually always plays best off it. And then can also work differently where they're expecting heaters up top and then curveball comes in. I just think tunneling-wise, it's a lot sharper, and I think last year was more so it was popping a lot, where this year it's really tight and it's holding a good fastball line.
They almost disrespect you. They walk Pete, and then you responded the way that you did. Can you walk us through what you saw there?
Yeah, I mean, anytime that they intentionally walk someone in front of you, you'd like to come through in that situation, and make them think about it, the next time they go to do it. But understandable with the way Pete swing the bat. Just went up there, tried to have a good plan, not try and do too much, and got a good pitch to hit, and put the barrel on it, and got us another run on the board. So, glad it could come through when they intentionally walked Pete to face me.
Yeah, and there was also some really good momentum in that sixth. Mm-hmm. Obviously, Lindor gets the walk, and then Soto gets his first hit at Citi Field. Yes. What was it ahead of your at-bat that kind of gave you a little extra oomph?
Yeah, I mean, they say hitting is contagious, and it's a real thing. So, just going up there and playing off the momentum. And as you mentioned, Soto getting that big double, that was huge to be able to kind of give us a little more breathing room. And so you're going up there, feeling pretty good and knowing that, the hitting is contagious and that, you're going up there with a good plan and try and execute it. So, it was a good feeling to come through there, and glad I could help the boys and just give us a little more breathing room and really solidify that win there at the end.
Brandon, everything Pete went through in the offseason, to see the ovation he got, having hit a home run in his first at bat, and then get a curtain call. Mm-hmm. I mean, were you celebrating, cheering for him? I mean, what was your feeling?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Pete's been having a great opening to the season, and I know he's put a lot of hard work in this offseason. And it's just great to see it paying off for him, right away, to be having those dividends right away. So Pete loves New York. He loves the Mets fan base, and I'm so glad that he's putting on a show for him. That was awesome. He put us on the board right away, and just very much Pete. He finds the barrel, and it can leave any ballpark. So we love what he's doing, and we love Big Pete, and want him to keep doing this and keep being a dangerous hitter. We really enjoy him right in the middle of our lineup, and it helped us get some momentum right away.
Then you go to Francisco. He swung at the first pitch he saw today, obviously doubled there.
Yeah.
Just how important was it to come out aggressive like that?
Yeah, no, I think it was great to set the tone right away. He's been letting those pitches go by and just kind of seeing them to start the season. And, everything is calculated that he does. And so, he came out more aggressive today and set the tone right away, pushed it for the double. Obviously a great slide to be able to get in there safely and really just grab the momentum right away. We didn't really let it go, so that was awesome. That's the way you want to play the game, and that's the way you want to play a game all the way through. So very, very happy for Lindor, and you're not going to keep him down long. So we knew big games were coming out of him real soon.
And then obviously we see the big smile on your face today. Just how good does it feel to walk away home opener with this big win?
Yeah, it always does. I've been really fortunate to have some good home openers and to do well. We have a pretty good record on opening day here in Citi Field. So to add to that is amazing, and I always love winning in front of this fan base. So a lot of fun, and we look to play on this momentum and keep it going tomorrow. But it's one game, and we pick it up again tomorrow and try and go 1-0 tomorrow.
Brandon, what stood out to you the most about Juan Soto's first week with the Mets regular season?
Well, he's just watching him, in spring training and watching him go about his work. He's, a professional in everything that he does. Works really, really hard, and is a perfectionist at his craft. And so I've seen that, go into the first week of the season. He's extremely respected across the league, as you can see with the way people pitch around him. He's someone that we all look to, and we're looking to in big moments, and he's going to come through for us a lot. But it's going to take all of us pulling on the same end of the rope, because everybody in the league knows how good Juan Soto is, and they know how good Pete is, and we want to be able to be a complete lineup. So I've seen Juan being very patient and taking what they've been giving him, but he's been getting on base for us a lot and doing some damage. So I thought it was great to see him get that double right there off the lefty, and just kind of start getting his footing here in Citi Field.
Have you noticed the impact he's made, however how subtle it is with your lineup? In your lineup, they can get hot pretty quick, but have 100%. You noticed just pitch selection and how opponents approach it? Yeah,
100%. They're very, very careful with him. And so with our lineup, there's a lot of different guys that can beat you, but a lot of them are circling Juan, and they're like, we're not letting this guy beat us, and so we're trying to put them in positions where they have to pitch to him and they have to come after him, but he's getting pitched, a lot like Barry Bonds, like I watched growing up with him, where, he'll only get 1 or 2 pitches per game that they really come after him with. So that's the way it's going to be until we prove otherwise. And, it's going to take days like this where, the lineup's clicking and, we get on them and we're able to put up some runs, and then they'll start pitching to him. But, he has the respect of the league, and that's the way they're approaching him right now.
How many guys can take a shin-high fastball that's like 2 balls off the plate and put it over the fence like that?
Yeah, not many people, and that's why, Pete is Polar Bear Pete. He's just brute strength, and like I said, when he hits the barrel, it can leave anywhere to any part of the ballpark. So you love that in the middle of your lineup. It's dangerous all the time. It doesn't matter what the situation is, and he always has the chance to leave the ballpark. So happy for him. Like I said, this is a great start, and we know that exactly what he's capable of, and he's doing it here in the beginning. So just really, really happy for him, and glad he's right in the middle of our lineup.
Could you have imagined he wouldn't be here?
I didn't want to imagine it, but there was a time this offseason, where things were getting pretty sticky there at the end. So, we were definitely worried, but I'm glad we don't have to worry about that anymore. And, we're sitting here with Juan Soto and Pete Alonso right in the middle of our lineup, and, that's 2 guys that are really hard to pitch to.